I used alcohol as an escape. I used it as a safe space for me to just feel comfortable with myself in my day-to-day. Growing up, I had a really good childhood. Always had a roof over my head, very family-oriented, but we were one of the very few families of color. I felt like I needed to, blend in, being able to put on a different face. I didn't really know who I was as a person, worrying about whether or not I'm going to be accepted, whether or not, my voice mattered. I found myself when I would go out with friends, I would drink to just relax a little bit and not really be an outcast and that I fit in. I realized that I went from just a social drinker to just drinking just to feel good. I didn't need a reason to drink. And I started to see the pattern. And every time I would drink again, it would be for a little bit longer or it would be more. And things just started to unravel in my life. I got to a point where, I was isolating myself. I started to really damage a lot of relationships in my life. When I got up, I didn't know who I was. And, I became someone that I didn't recognize. And that's when I felt like I hit my rock bottom and I needed to do something different. We have a really close friend of the family. She also experienced addiction and she connected me to the Salvation Army. Then within 24 hours, I was packed up. I had no idea what to expect and I was walking through the doors of the Way Out.
The Way Out is the most comprehensive continuum of care dealing with the intersection of drug addiction and homelessness. We want to get people off the streets, we want to get people off of drugs, we want to give people hope, and we want to give people back their lives. Ghana has quite an amazing story. I first met her at the Harbor Light Center when she entered detox. From there, she went into her long-term treatment program, graduated, and is now living in one of our recovery housing programs.
I went into RWS, which is the detox. Once I was there, I realized that there's a whole program attached to that. Harbor Light. It was really challenging for me. I didn't know if I was supposed to be there. I didn't know if I needed to be there. By the second month, I could start seeing the work that I was putting in on myself.
So I first started to get to know Ghana when she came to Harbor Light seeking help for her substance use issues. I remember in particular, she asked me, how do I know what my purpose is and who am I? And so we just worked really closely together to kind of learn how to live a new life in sobriety and how to navigate life on life's terms without alcohol or drugs.
Kayla, every step of the way, she was there to guide me, celebrating the small wins, acknowledging things that I didn't know that I was doing, and really just point me in the right direction and let me know that I was headed in the right direction. I stayed at Joseph McPhee Center for a couple months, and it was a relief. It's difficult to transition from treatment, so I feel like this is that bridge. Don't have to worry about housing, and also guide you and help you with resources, to rebuild your life.
She's made incredible changes in her life, and she just recently got hired as a manager of Hope House, which is the city's first abstinence-based shelter in the history of San Francisco.
I have one child. I had my son when I was really young. He's my best friend, and I could see that when I was under the influence, I was hurting him, and it was hurting him to see me that way. My son played a big, big factor in recovery. It was challenging, but I know that, I needed to do the work for myself. To hear my son, tell me how proud he is of me, it still touches my heart, because he is everything to me. He's seen me at my lowest, and to see, how my life is now and how I can show up for him. A lot of the tools and this, and skills and coping mechanisms that I learned in treatment, I'm able to apply those now, and be the mother and guide him and share those experiences with him, which has been a beautiful thing.
She's encountered challenges and she's navigated them and she's stayed sober and she is deepening her relationship with her son and her family. As she is just kind of navigating life getting bigger and bigger, she's actually able to hold it and experience it and be grateful for it. And that's been really beautiful to see.
Investing in people over that time frame gives them the ability to reclaim their lives. And when you just see the work that people put in and then you see them reunite with their families and get jobs that they've been wanting to have their whole lives or develop careers. It's really just so rewarding.
I don't feel like I need to hide any bits and parts of me anymore. I show up me, and I'm okay with that. Prior to treatment, I was isolating myself a lot, and I found it crazy that here I am, made another day clean and sober. And it was definitely one of the best decisions that I made in my life. I owe it all to the Salvation Army, and it's just, everything happens for a reason. And, by the grace of God, I ended up there.